Most people trying to break into cloud engineering will still be stuck next year. Not because they're lazy, not because they're not smart enough, because they fundamentally misunderstand what progress actually is. They have certifications, they have Udemy courses, they have pages of notes on every Azure and AWS service, and they have no interviews, no offers, no cloud role. I've coached hundreds of IT professionals into six-figure cloud roles. I hold professional architect certifications across AWS, Azure, and GCP. The pattern I see in every cloud engineer who's stuck is the same pattern. They've been learning the what and the how. Nobody ever asked them why. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that costs you in an interview and what to do instead. Let's get into it. Picture this. You finally get the interview. You studied for months. You have a certification or two. You know what S3 is. You know that Lambda is serverless. You followed every tutorial. And then the hiring manager asks you, we're onboarding 100,000 new users next month. Walk me through how you would make sure the platform holds up. And you freeze. Not because you didn't study, because everything you studied taught you what the services are and how they work. Nobody ever asked you why. Why this service over another? Why this design holds 100,000 users when another design fails? What it costs the company when traffic drops back to normal? That's the gap. And it's not a knowledge gap. It's a reasoning gap. Certifications build recognition. They don't build judgment. You can recognize what autoscaling is from a flashcard. But when someone asks you whether autoscaling or a different architecture is the right answer for a specific business problem, that answer only comes from having reasoned through a real decision before. The worst part is that passive studying feels productive. Following a tutorial feels like progress. Taking notes feels like learning. Passing a practice exam feels like preparation. And then the interview happens. And the question isn't about definitions. It's about decisions. There's only one question that tells you whether you're actually making progress. What problem can you solve today that you couldn't solve 30 days ago? If the answer is not many, you've been collecting information, not building capability. Those are different things. And hiring managers feel the difference within the first 5 minutes of a technical conversation. The way you study has to change. Instead of starting with a service and trying to memorize your way up, start with a real problem and work backwards. Here's an example. A startup runs their entire application on a single server. It works fine at 1,000 users, but a marketing campaign is about to bring in 100,000 users. Their budget is tight. Whatever you design has to cost almost nothing when things are quiet. You can't fully solve that problem yet. That's not the point. The point is that now every service you study has a real job to do. You're not learning what a load balancer is. You're figuring out whether a load balancer solves your traffic problem and what it costs the other 364 days of the year. You're not reading about autoscaling because it's in Module 7 of a Udemy course. You're reading about it because your design fails without it. That's how your brain actually holds information. When you learn something to solve a problem, the knowledge is tied to a decision. It has something to attach to. When you learn something from a flashcard, there's nothing for it to attach to. It's gone by the next day. The interview question that froze you, walk me through how you would handle 100,000 users, is now the question you practice every day. Not because you memorized the answer, because you reasoned through it. One more thing on this point, use the industry background you already have. If you came from healthcare, design a system that handles patient data where privacy is non-negotiable. If you came from finance, design infrastructure for a banking application that can't go down. If you came from government, design a FedRAMP compliant cloud environment for a federal agency. Your domain knowledge plus cloud skills is a combination most candidates don't have. That combination is exactly what makes you stand out to a hiring manager who's looking at 100 resumes with the same certifications on them. The engineers who get the fastest offers are consistently the ones who leveraged a specific industry background rather than presenting as a generic cloud candidate. You already have that advantage. Most people never use it. Building projects is half the work. The other half is making that work visible before you apply to anything. After every project, close everything down. Rebuild what you covered from a blank page. Sketch the architecture from memory. Explain it out loud like you're already in an interview. If you can't explain it simply with nothing in front of you, you've not learned it yet. It's far better to find that out alone at your desk tonight than in front of a hiring manager. Then post it. Write up every project. The problem, your design, the trade-offs, what broke, how you fixed it. Put it on LinkedIn. Every project you post does two things simultaneously. It keeps you accountable, and it builds a public record of months of documented problem solving that anyone can see with a few clicks. By the time you apply, you're not just another candidate with certifications. You're someone with real architecture decisions documented in public. Recruiters search for cloud engineers right now. The engineers who've been posting real technical work get inbound messages. Everyone else waits for callbacks that may not come. And when those engineers get into interviews, they have a real answer to tell me about a system you built, not a tutorial they followed, not a lab environment that was pre-configured. A real problem they chose, a real design they built, a real failure they debugged, documented publicly so everyone can verify it. That answer is qualitatively different from every other candidate in the room. Somewhere in the back of your mind, there's a voice asking, am I about to spend months learning something that AI is going to automate away? Here's the honest answer. AI-generated infrastructure as code ships significantly more bugs than human-written code. When that generated infrastructure has a security hole in it, AI doesn't take accountability. You do. The cloud engineer does. That's part of the reason the role isn't disappearing, but the role has shifted. It's less about executing tasks and more about judgment and decisions, which means your job is to get exceptionally good at working alongside AI, not competing against it. The 4 things you need to own that AI can't own for you. And before I name them, note that all 4 of these are developed through project-based learning. Not through certifications, not through tutorials, through building real things, making real decisions, and reasoning through what breaks before you get asked about it in an interview. System design. AI can write the code but doesn't have your context, your budget, your timeline, your team, what the business actually needs. Those decisions are always yours. Fixing things when they break. Run what-if scenarios on everything you built. What happens if this security rule changes? What breaks downstream if this component goes down? What if 10 times the traffic showed up tomorrow? Play out the failures before they happen. When something breaks in a real job, you've already simulated it. Explaining yourself. Write every project up like someone else has to maintain it. Practice explaining your decisions out loud until they come out clean. You'll talk to project managers, finance people, non-technical stakeholders who don't know what a subnet is and don't care. You have to communicate clearly to all of them. Business context. Every technical decision you make needs to tie back to making the business money or saving the business money. Full stop. Technical tools are shiny. New ones drop constantly. It's easy to get caught up building complex solutions just because you can, but you're not being paid to build the fancy solution. You're being paid to deliver a return. Every cloud engineer who understands that is operating at a level that most candidates never reach. Everything in this video only works if you actually do it consistently. And this is where most people fall apart because they run the whole thing on motivation. Motivation runs out for everyone, every day. The engineers who break into cloud fast are not more disciplined than you. They've built a setup where the work happens whether they feel like it or not. 3 things that make consistency real. Decide once, not every day. Block study time into your calendar like it's a work meeting. Pick your days, pick your time. When the time comes, you just show up. That's what's in the calendar. Know exactly what you're doing before you sit down. One of the biggest time wasters is spending the first 20 minutes of a session figuring out what to work on. Write down what you're going to do before the session starts. Show up and execute. Have a backup plan for the bad days because they're coming. There will be evenings where you're exhausted. The last thing you want to do is design a system. Decide now what the minimum looks like. Maybe it's 20 minutes redrawing yesterday's architecture from memory. Not impressive, but you showed up. And the momentum you've built stays intact. The engineers who get cloud roles in 3 months and the engineers who are still stuck at 18 months are not separated by intelligence. They're separated by the quality of their daily process. If the last 6 to 12 months of studying have not produced an interview, more of the same studying will not produce a different result. What changes the result is changing the method. Problem-first learning, blank page recall, public documentation, consistent daily progress, not more certifications, not more courses, not more hours watching someone else build something. The work that gets you hired is the work that proves you can think, not the work that proves you can watch. If you want to build that process alongside engineers who are already doing it, the link in the description will take you to our free community. And one last thing, the engineers I've coached who moved fastest into cloud roles were not the ones with the most certifications. They were the ones who changed the method first. Problem first, blank page recall, public documentation, consistent daily process. They started those 4 things before they felt ready. That's the only reason they got there faster than everyone else. Start before you're ready. The readiness comes from the work. As always, see you in the next one.